January 5th, 2026, CES. Boston Dynamics wheeled out their new Atlas robot, and within 5 seconds, everything changed.
We've been working on humanoids for more than a decade at Boston Dynamics, always keeping a close watch on when the missing pieces of technology would fall into place to make it truly commercially viable.
It stood up without using its hands, then twisted its torso 180 degrees backward like something straight out of The Exorcist. The crowd went dead silent. That's not how spines work. This isn't a robot trying to be human. This is a robot designed to be better. Every joint built around one question. What if we just let physics do whatever it wants? But here's the terrifying part.
These industry-leading specs, along with our industry-leading foundation models, allow Atlas to take on challenging tasks. Tasks that Atlas will do autonomously, on its own, from day one.
While everyone stared at that nightmare rotation, Atlas quietly solved the one problem that's kept humanoid robots as expensive toys for 30 years. Let me show you why every robot before this failed at the exact same thing. The old Atlas was hydraulic, leaking fluid everywhere. Incredible for research, completely useless for production. Then everyone agreed electric robots were the way forward. But electric robots run for 2 to 4 hours on a battery, then need 1 to 2 hours recharging. That's massive downtime. Factories need 24/7 operation. So you'd think, just use human workers instead, right? They work 8-hour shifts. But then you need 3 complete shifts to cover 24 hours, which means triple the training costs, triple the coordination headaches, and that's before weekends, sick days, vacation time. Every robotics company hit this wall and couldn't figure out how to break through it, until Boston Dynamics did.
A humanoid robot made by Boston Dynamics named Atlas. Atlas is making the move from the lab to the factory floor.
Watch what happens here, because this changes everything. Atlas works for 4 hours straight. The battery gets low. It walks itself over to the charging station, swaps out the dead battery for a fresh one in under 3 minutes, completely autonomously, and goes right back to work. No human supervision. That's 99.4% uptime. Compare that to a human worker. 8 hours of actual work, then 16 hours where they're simply not there. That's only 33% uptime. One Atlas robot equals 3 human workers in pure time on the factory floor. And once they solved the battery problem, they could finally go full electric. Full electric means simpler systems. Simpler systems mean cheaper maintenance. Cheaper maintenance means these things can actually generate profit instead of just burning money. Therefore, every single 2026 production unit sold out before most people even heard the announcement. Think about Formula 1 pit stops. Those crews change 4 tires in 2.5 seconds because every second costs positions. Atlas treats batteries the exact same way. Meanwhile, your phone sits plugged into the wall for 4 hours overnight like it's got all the time in the world. That's the difference. But the battery breakthrough was only half the equation. Because while Atlas was solving the endurance problem, it was also redesigning what a working robot should even look like.
So why did you design it that way?
There's a couple advantages of being able to continuously rotate joints, so it can do things and turn in directions that people just couldn't.
This is where things get genuinely unsettling, because Atlas stopped trying to be human-shaped and started being purpose-built instead. It has 56 degrees of freedom. Your shoulder has 3 degrees of freedom. Atlas's shoulder has 7. Its spine rotates a full 360 degrees. Its wrists can spin continuously without ever stopping to unwind. This isn't biomimicry anymore. This is physics unleashed. Picture an assembly line where parts come from the front and from behind. A human worker has to turn around, grab the rear part, turn back, position everything, repeat. Constant repositioning. Wasted motion. Atlas just rotates its torso backward, grabs the part, rotates forward, never moving its feet once. The lower body stays planted while the upper body operates in a completely different direction. It can reach into tight spaces that would destroy your back over time. It can handle assembly angles that would dislocate your shoulder, and it can lift 110 pounds while walking and adjusting balance in real time. The average factory worker can safely lift about 50 pounds repeatedly. Atlas doubles that while moving around, like the weight doesn't even register. And if an arm breaks during a shift, it doesn't take long to swap in a new one. Compare that to a human injury, where you're looking at weeks of recovery time, medical bills, hiring a temporary replacement, and training them up. This is why the business case finally works. But the hardware alone wouldn't be enough if the brain couldn't keep up. And that's where things get scary. Google DeepMind, the AI lab that beat the world champion at Go, a game more complex than chess. They just plugged their foundation models directly into a 200-pound robot and gave it the ability to learn. Day 1, a human operator teaches Atlas how to assemble a car door. It takes about 4 hours. Day 2, that entire knowledge base uploads to the cloud. Day 3, every single Atlas robot on Earth can now assemble car doors perfectly without any additional training whatsoever. One robot learns, 1,000 robots instantly know. That's not how Tesla's approach works. They're building their AI from scratch, which means every capability takes years to develop. That's not how Figure works either. They're using OpenAI's language models, which are incredible for conversation, but weren't designed for physical spatial tasks. But Atlas is running on DeepMind, AI designed for spatial reasoning, game theory, and long-term strategic planning. Therefore, when something unexpected happens, Atlas doesn't freeze up and wait for human intervention. That's not programmed behavior. That's reasoning under uncertainty. And that's why Atlas isn't just competing in the humanoid robot race anymore. It's pulling ahead. 4 companies are desperately trying to catch up, and the gap is getting wider every day. Tesla, Optimus, has about 40 degrees of freedom compared to Atlas's 56. That's the difference between reaching around a corner and having to walk around the corner. Tesla's got manufacturing scale and battery expertise, but Boston Dynamics has 30 years of movement research, and it shows. Figure 02 partnered with OpenAI to make robots you can talk to naturally.
The apple, because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
The conversation interface is genuinely impressive, but Figure talks better than it moves. It doesn't have DeepMind spatial reasoning. Therefore, Figure becomes incredible for customer-facing roles, hospitality, and assistance. But on a factory floor where you need to move heavy parts, Atlas wins on pure capability. Agility Digit is already deploying in Amazon warehouses. But Digit was purpose-built for one specific job. It has bins for hands instead of articulated fingers. It excels at picking up boxes and carrying them, but it can't manipulate complex objects, can't assemble anything. Digit dominates in warehouse logistics, but can't scale beyond that. And finally, Unitree G1 out of China with a $16,000 price point. Chinese manufacturing means fast iteration and low cost, but the quality gap is real. Build quality, component durability, software stability. Western enterprises look at the price tag and get excited. Then they look at the warranty terms and quietly back away. Meanwhile, Atlas isn't just incrementally better than the competition, it's solving problems that the others haven't even acknowledged exist yet. Because while everyone else is still trying to figure out how to make humanoid robots work at all, Atlas already solved endurance, solved manipulation, solved adaptability, and solved the business case simultaneously. Therefore, Hyundai's not running pilot programs to test viability. They're building entire factories designed around Atlas as the default workforce. Hyundai just announced its AI robotics strategy at CES 2026, and the deployment plan is more calculated than anyone expected. They're opening the Robot Meta Plant Application Center this year, a training facility where Atlas robots learn real manufacturing tasks using actual production data. before they ever touch a live assembly line. Think of it as robot boot camp. Once they're trained and validated, phased deployment starts at Hyundai Motor Group Meta Plant America in Georgia. Parts sequencing by 2028, complex assembly work by 2030. This isn't about replacing humans overnight. It's about integrating robots into existing facilities to handle repetitive, dangerous tasks that can break down human bodies over time. Atlas takes the jobs that cause injuries and workers' comp claims. Humans supervise, troubleshoot, and handle the complex problem solving that robots still can't touch. But here's what matters. Once one manufacturer proves the ROI works, others follow. The adoption curve accelerates fast. We've heard the automation story before, but here's what changed. The AI breakthrough and the hardware maturity happen at the exact same time. 2020, GPT-3 proves AI can reason. 2024, Electric Atlas proves the hardware is ready. 2026, they merged. DeepMind's reasoning runs on Boston Dynamics hardware. This is the year humanoid robots crossed from impressive tech demo to positive return on investment. And once that line gets crossed, everything accelerates exponentially. Manufacturing first, right now. Warehousing, construction sites, healthcare assistants, every industry with dull, dirty, or dangerous jobs just got its iPhone moment. That inflection point where technology goes from interesting concept to why don't we have this already? Which leads us to the most important question. Atlas doesn't take sick days, doesn't need health insurance, doesn't ask for raises, it just works. But it also doesn't innovate on its own, doesn't mentor younger workers, doesn't actually care whether the product is good. It executes tasks, that's it. So what happens to the concept of work when the workers don't need the work? Maybe we're about to find out what humans are actually for. Maybe we're not meant to lift engine blocks for 8 hours a day until our bodies break down. Maybe we're meant to teach robots, design better systems, solve problems that Atlas can't even perceive yet. Or maybe the answer is something none of us has figured out yet. But ready or not, the robot revolution just went from demo videos to actual deployment in real factories. Because the question isn't if they're coming anymore, they're already here. The question is what you're going to do about it. But as crazy as the Atlas is, it wasn't the only robot unveiled at CES. In our next video, you'll see the surgical robot that's already operating on human spines, and the humanoid that finally solved the laundry problem your parents have been asking about for 20 years. Click on it now.